Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Welcome to Paz of the Mind. I'm your host, Chris, aka The Mole. Joining me is Rick the Hammer
Hello.
and Anastasia Laserbeam.
Hello.
That's right, the cast of XGR slash OJ have reunited. Woo! I'm sure everyone was hyped up for that reunion. But, well, there's going to be no news catch up and like usual. It's just going to be just news slash discussion about E3. Because why the hell not? So, taking us away with their first bit of E3 thing that they liked will be. Flick of a coin. Pew.
Alright. Going in the order of. Actually, put them in proper order this time. Of actually highest
Yay.
like to not like. I mean, I still liked it, but not as much as the first thing. So.
Highest to not like.
Yeah. Like the number one I like the most, like number 7. Actually, there's 7. It wasn't 6 before. Like I said, it was 6. It's actually 7, and 7 is the one I liked the least, but still like more than the stuff I couldn't be asked to put in here.
Fair enough. Go Pew.
Yeah. Okay. I like South Park, Fractured, but Whole. That guy, even the guy before the South Park people came on, he was funny too. Like, so I even liked the guy who was talking to them. But yeah, that was so funny, and especially when they brought in freaking talk about Kanye's in the game, and they mentioned his game about his mom going to heaven. Oh god, I was just dying. That was so freaking funny. And then how they had the cutscene of how, like, everybody's mom fucks their dad, or everybody's dad fucks their mom. That's what they do. And he was like, oh, come on, don't steal his backstory.
Yeah.
That's so lame. And I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yes, my dad fucked my mom. That's why I'm here. Dude, don't steal his backstory.
That was amazing. Oh, I love that.
That was real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I like that they showed some of the game too, and we're talking about like some of the changes that they made and how it was like the next day after it, and it's like, oh well, we're not playing knights anymore, so it doesn't matter that you were king. You're now back to douchebag because we don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nice. That game did look pretty cool. And how about Rick?
Well, I also had that one on my list, so I'll just put that one there.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, then it
Shockingly,
would like cut it on my list. So.
that makes sense. Shockingly, that didn't make my list. I forgot it was at E3. I just forgot it was there. When I was writing the list, I just forgot. It did look awesome, but I'll go first with the one I'm interested the least, but felt obliged to mention. Injustice 2. That's happening.
It's happening.
The focus this time seems to be on customization and upgrading your character and stuff like that, which, like, I don't like stuff like that in fighting games. That's just a personal preference. I'm not, if some people may like it, it's fine. Personal preference, I don't like that stuff in fighting games. But they've had it also, yay! And they've got more people that they're after, and I'm like, okay, hopefully this is cool. Hopefully it's not the same follow-on story from the last one, i.e. Superman's evil, Batman is the savior of everyone because he's super awesome. But yeah, Injustice 2 looked pretty cool.
I heard one of the like I think it was like IGN or the people who talk like after it was like over, they were like, now everybody can customize, everyone can have their own individualized Aquaman. Your dreams are finally realized. You're welcome, people. And I was like, yeah. I was like, we can all be Aquaman.
I've made the prediction, which I'm sure other people have probably made that prediction. I've made the prediction that this game should focus on Ra's al Ghul. Only because the first trailer is a guy talking about death and him. That has to be race talking. It has to be. That's pretty much his entire. I'm like, not. Oh my god, I'm such a genius. I figured it out because I'd be stupid. I was just like, oh, does the show cool? They could go a completely different way with it, but you know what I mean? It seemed enough like his MO that I was like, I'm now interested.
It had to be definitely him. Who else could that be? It's him.
Evil
It's me,
Superman who's
Batman.
just built a pit.
Yeah.
It was me, Bella.
This
But
is my
taking us
bizarre
away
pit.
next. Taking us away next. How about we go with Rick, since you didn't get to go the first time round.
All
Mix it
right.
up a bit.
The one I definitely want to mention then soon was the most excited thing thing that I saw there for me personally was Dead Rising 4. That was
Nice.
a cool little trailer. Showed some gameplay. Fucking Frank is back. That made me super happy. And just they show like the one scene for a little bit where he has like a powered suit on and he's like swinging around a giant sledgehammer, and I'm like, that could be awesome. And they had like the Saints Row Manapult, but it was like shooting out zombie corpses, or I guess that's kind of redundant, but I was like, that I could see no practical purpose for it other than I would totally do that because it's fun. Like, I don't think that would help me get through the game, but just like driving around a little cart that like just lobs zombies out. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'd use that. I doubt it would help, but whatever.
See, I saw the Dead Rising 4 trailer and I thought, that does look pretty fucking awesome. It's cool Frank's back. I will admit I had the moment of, ooh, that affects the timeline. But I was like, you know what, I don't give a shit, this is going to be fun. The only reason why is I literally have, right here, next to me, the Dead Rising movie that they sold on the premise of it being canon, and he dies instantly. So you know what I mean? I was like, but I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I literally don't give a shit because Dead Rising's never been about continuity. It's about fun. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Frank's the best character they had. Every other protagonist has been shit. Even in Dead Rising 3, let's face it, it says it all when the best thing I enjoyed about him was taking him and leaving him in the middle of a nuke so he lost his clothes. I was like, If that was Frank, I would have been like, no, run and make sure I take a photo at the nuke.
And of the nude person.
But this guy, like, fuck, I want to see him die. But I was like, that looks pretty cool. And how about you go next, Pew?
Alright. The next one, I liked that Spider-Man from Insomniac Games. That looked cool. It could also be that I've been recently reading like nonstop Ultimate Spider-Man, so I'm more like into Spider-Man right now. So that could also be it, but it looked fun.
It looked great. That definitely was on my list. As I mentioned to Rick yesterday, I don't like the costume.
The costume was a little odd, but you know.
With the big Venom like white spider.
Yeah.
No, part of me is like, there's probably gonna be an alternate costume. I don't give a shit. It looks really fun.
Funny enough,
I
that
do
if
like
you pre-order it a game. No, I'm just kidding.
Pre-order a game to get the Iron Spider. Well, guess what? I'm not pre-ordering. But no, like I said, it looks really fun, and I like the fact one of the people, you know, the guy that he's beating up with the mask on in the train station, looks like one of Mr. Negative's guys. I'm like, ooh, we're actually gonna get a different villain. Maybe they're actually gonna do something new with the game. That's made me hopeful. It's not gonna be the typical, oh look, here's a Rhino fight. How are we gonna beat him this time? Oh, I know. Let's dodge out the way while he runs into shit. You know,
Spoilers,
like
I
every
haven't gotten to
fucking
that
Spider-Man
part
game. Any of them. But I was like, you know what I mean? It's cool that they're going to a different well, and I'm like, this could be cool. And with it being Insomniac Games, I don't think they've made a bad game. I haven't played all of theirs, but but like Resistance and stuff were pretty good.
You didn't like Sunset Overdrive.
Like I said, I didn't think Sunset Overdrive was for me, but I understood the purpose behind the game. So for people that wanted that game, it'd be good.
It was just alright, but I mean, I know some people who loved it.
Yeah, like a rally a rail shooter. I know it wasn't, but it felt like you were on a rail a lot of times, just shoot. But a lot of people were like, but
Tony Hawk's Dude
they've
Rail
not
Shooter.
made a game. It's yeah, but they've not made a game. But even Sunset Overdrive, it's not exactly Superman 4 or C or something. Where you're like, that game's fucking terrible.
They haven't made horribly unplayable games.
So hopeful, but what they could do this, what like Rocksteady did with the because the Rocksteady until then most super pretty when you would play just a Batman, just a regular Superman, including less Capcom. It'd be cool if we got something along those lines. The last few Superman games, great.
Yeah.
But that might just be me hoping. My next one from my list, I'm going to take that one out of the way first. Bum bum bum. Resident Evil. As people who have ever heard me on this show know, I like Resident Evil. And it's Resident Evil as a horror. I don't care, take my money. And they added VR elements too. Definitely take my money. It's like, okay, you've just pretty much made a Resident Evil game. I feel I have to buy it. It's one of those games I'm like, I don't want to miss out on that Resident Evil game, if that makes sense. It's not going to be one where I'm like, I'll wait till it gets cheaper. I want that game. And from what they showed off, it looked pretty cool.
I will admit I like the logo. Like how the VII for 7 was in Evil, and then also if you look at the Japanese one, they have just the number 7 in the Z for Biohazard. And I'm like, I approve of that. That is a very good logo design. Like the 7 works in both.
Yeah.
It's like I don't necessarily like it. I mean, and it doesn't like replace the letter, so it's not like that. It's just like in there, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like that. Like I like that.
Pretty spiffy.
Needs most of all when you get on, it better say Resident Evil. If I turn it on, it's like I don't know. Someone will be like, "Oh my god, it's like Resident Evil." I'm gonna be like, "Fuck off," and just off. In that moment, I turn the game off.
You do well. Bootstrap just goes #Res Evil, and then you just mash the eject button by hitting it with the controller. No, out.
Get the fuck out of this house.
#spooky. I want that to be a thing. Like, oh no, it's when you keep that scratchy and all that stuff. It's like #itchy, #zombie, #brains, and you're like, really? Takes a selfie of himself as a zombie. No, I'm done with the entire game. You've too modernized it. But that's you.
Yay! Okay, you guys may have this on your list, but I liked the Norman Reedus Kojima trailer. That looked cool. It was kind of weird because it had all these babies and stuff in it. Yeah,
Had
so
more dead babies than Anthony Jeselnik joke. Haha.
I was gonna say it has more babies than I did on Halloween. 'Cause that's like that's what we did with every baby doll we've gotten from our childhood that we never played with. We actually found a use for them. We took them apart and used them as Halloween props. We're like, they're finally useful. See, 12 years ago, Aunt Mary, I'm finally playing with them. Not the way you intended, but they're not in the garbage.
See, we're playing with them. We're just pulling them apart.
And sticking them in the ground and covering them with blood and making it look like babies are coming out of the ground.
But remember, we're not crazy.
Yeah, exactly. We're just, don't want to go out and buy shit. We're just making use with the stuff we have. 1 second.
When you're doing that with that hair, are you Sid from Toy Story?
No. Well, actually, we're not blowing them up. We're just painting. We're just taking off the arms and legs, sticking them in the ground, and painting the joints red.
Oh, is that all?
That's all. And we did hang like one of them from a tree, by the neck. So,
Fair enough.
but anyway,
Uh,
so
Over to Rick.
okay.
Mhm.
Man, I don't know how to follow that
Sorry,
up.
if you had more,
Um,
but
Oh, I was just gonna say he was naked, and I was like, okay, how about that?
okay.
again, I don't know how to follow
See
that up,
if
but okay.
he.
All right. Next thing I'll mention, I thought was kind of cool. I don't know if this was shown like on the floor or wherever, but I know that they talked about it around the start of it. But the developer of Saints Row showed off a little bit of their new game, Agents of Mayhem, which sounds awesome. It's third-person superhero open world game. It's like, yeah, heard of that before, but it doesn't matter. But I mean, like with Saints Row 4 and Gat Out of Hell, I like what they did with the powers, and I like how the powers felt in that game. So I'm actually really excited. That's the route I would have preferred they take. I know not everyone liked 4 as much as 3 and stuff, but I really like the inclusion of the superpowers. So I'm happy to see them at least try another game in that direction. And supposedly there's 12 heroes and you can take them on teams of 3. So like on the mission you can switch between 3 that you take. And that just sounds kind of cool. I don't know how crazy it's going to get outside of that, like story wise and stuff, but it sounds like a game that I definitely am interested in seeing some more about. Sounds pretty cool.
Woo!
Yay. So yeah, that was mine.
I realised I was muted. My bad.
Oh. I was like,
It's
damn, I
okay.
didn't know you hated it that much.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have nothing to say. You disgust me, sir.
Oh.
no, I said that sounds pretty cool as its own standalone game. I'm like, that does sound pretty cool. And I said, my next one, the one I took next, I put Batman Arkham VR. They showed off. Yeah, we didn't see much of gameplay, but it's E3. Most of it just makes you go, yay. Batman using virtual reality, and it's the Arkham series, and there's going to be more focus on detecting and looking around and solving stuff. I'm like, oh, yes. It sounds brilliant. I'm like, I really want to play that game. And it's like, wearing the helmet will make you feel like Batman. I'm like, yes, I want to feel like Batman. I'm Batman. Eat, sleep, Batman.
Eat, sleep, detect, feed.
But, yeah. But that was on my list. I didn't think that'd be on anyone else's, but that was on mine. Uh, so,
It was also on my
let's
list.
go. Oh, okay. It was on Pew's list.
So
Nice.
Yay.
yeah. So I just would love to see like look through the eyes of Batman. I have no idea what they're gonna do with it or whatever, but it looks like fun. Yeah, that was it. You pretty much covered it.
It does look pretty. Yeah, it does look pretty cool. And about to Rick, I think used the continuity. Also, is it Joker? So I'm like, ooh, Malcolm to Hitman games with the technology and the fight later on. Is he going to be set in the middle of one of the games?
Mm.
I'm curious. I'm always, but you, unless unless you were doing that, like Rick did and just saying one because
Oh,
it
oh, I was
prolongs your
just
list.
gonna. Oh, I was gonna go wait for you guys to go around me again because technically I already had that one.
Okay, then over to Rick.
All right. Next one I'll mention then. They showed some of the co-op from Scalebound. Still excited to play that game. That looks pretty cool. They fought a
You're
giant.
you're a little windy. You're
Oh, sorry,
a
it's air
little windy.
conditioning.
You off a bit.
Sorry. go ahead. I won't interrupt. I moved it so I'm not close to the air conditioner.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But yeah, the co-op for Scalebound, that looked really awesome. Game looks fun. And they're like, oh, it's the biggest boss that Platinum's ever made, and they have this like giant three-tailed scorpion and like exposed its brain or something. It's like, shoot it in the heart. I'm like, the heart is in its head, but okay, whatever. But that looked really cool. Definitely excited to try that game when it comes out.
The biggest boss they've made so far. Wait till the Transformers sequel, Unicron. No, I'm kidding.
You did fight him in the PS2 one. I think he was in planet form, but you did fight Unicron. Oh, sorry, spoilers.
I like the PS2 Amazon mine. I like that. It looked so beautiful when I was playing it.
It is a cool game.
Yeah, Scalebound looked pretty cool. And like you, so I will take, just to get out the way, this Lego Dimensions Year 2.
Oh, I forgot about that. I would have put that on my list.
Lego Dimensions Year 2. Emily, Aim, Hedgehog, and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that looks so wonderful. So some place we did that. I'm convinced people and that's a joy find with the toys to game swing to back and go on. Like I'm guessing like Skylanders Rick, a free Skylander.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and buy every Skylander for one of the games.
But yeah, well, with the Lego Dimensions ones, I wouldn't buy every one, but definitely want to get Goonies and Gremlins and Knight Rider and A-Team. Like I gotta get those ones. I'm kind of glad they're not level packs because then they'll be cheaper. And like a Goonies Adventure World sounds amazing. I wonder if it'll have the giant octopus that was cut out of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which means each one of them will have their little hubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's like each one of them will have the hubs, and like with the Ghostbusters one, I can swap and play Ghostbusters with 2 different Ghostbusters now, and I'll be like, so you can cross over the originals with the new one. It'll be like Back in the Saddles Part 1 and 2. Extreme Ghostbusters episodes. Yeah, but with that, I'm like, that's awesome, and E.T. and stuff. I'm like, I like all these. I like most of the things they showed, and I'm like, I could see me buying all them, and yeah, like I said, like you said, you don't need every single one, but I'm like, the ones I don't buy, other people will enjoy. Like there's Harry Potter coming for.
Yeah, that was kind of funny because they mentioned this stuff there. Oh yeah.
You just hope.
Oh, I said it's cool. You can go.
Oh, okay. Well, like when they showed the properties and they're like, there's 2 story packs or whatever, and the second one is like Fantastical Beasts or whatever, and I was like, I don't know what the hell that is, and I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's why I didn't know what the hell it was, because it's like Harry Potter stuff. I was like, mystery solved.
Yep. And I'm just hoping when they do the level packs this time round, I hope they put, I don't know if it's the same over there, but I'm hoping there's more demand. Or, you know what I mean, they meet the demand more. Because at least here, they've sold out everywhere of the portal packs. I know someone who was trying to get that. And every single shop just doesn't have portal back in stock, and they're just not getting it back in. I'm like, why didn't you make more of this?
Yeah, wait, there's plenty over here. I've never seen any of them out.
I had to buy my Wonder Woman online.
But over to Pew. Pew.
All right. Next one I had on my list, and this is the only thing I liked from the Microsoft conference, was We Happy Few. That's the thing where he had the masks. So they had the white, I don't know if the white masks or white face paint, but he didn't take his happy pills, and I think it was sometime like during the 60s or something. I forget what time I saw in the newspaper or what year, but I think it was around there. And the people were eating a rat, but the happy pills made them think it was a piñata, and because it was gross and he threw up, they knew he wasn't taking his happy pills and took him away. That looks really interesting.
Yeah, I like that part too, where it's just like, oh, people didn't take it because he threw up. They're like, wait, so that means you know it's not what you're eating? You know it's something worth throwing up over? It's like
Yeah.
maybe he's like, oh, he's like, maybe he ate too much candy before coming over, and they're just like stuffing their face. Because let's be fair, if you saw someone and they were stuffing their face with candy, that's probably pretty gross on its own. 'Cause they're like not swallowing; they're just rah. They just have like all this like half melted candy and stuff in their mouth, and it's like look like Ralph Wiggum eating paste, and you're just like, ugh.
Maybe it's like this perfect thing where
Yep.
it makes the people eating candy, like, because you need drugs to make kids eating candy not look gross. And that's why he threw up. Because there is no throw up in the perfect vision.
Ah.
Yeah. It's like I said to someone the other day. Dragon Ball. Whenever Goku eats, hilarious. If I was to see that in real life, when I see eating content and like with
Yeah.
plates, it's fucking gross. And that's coming from a fat guy.
True.
But how about the next one, Richter?
All right. For my next one, I'm gonna go with. There were a couple of trailers for stuff that Xseed had. They weren't during any of the conferences, but on the show floor they had them, and they released trailers for a couple of things that they were showing. They had a playable demo of Shantae Half Genie Hero, which is actually getting a physical version, which is pretty cool. Um, they had a trailer for, and I think playable Fate slash Xstella, which is a hack and slash game, which in the Fate universe looked pretty cool. Akiba's Beat, which is like a, I don't know if that's, I mean like sort of a sequel to Akiba Strip, but this one looks more RPG like based off the trailer. I'm not quite sure because you had like 4 people in the party instead of just you and another person. And Exile's End, which is a Metroidvania looking game. They all look pretty cool, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. Hopefully, I can luck out and get review codes for those because I would definitely like to try them.
Nice. Keys trip, pretty awesome. I'm still grateful for Rick for turning me onto that game. I like that game.
You kill vampires by pulling their clothes off. Okay.
Yep, Rick just sold me on it. It was recommended.
There you go.
Bringing that back, recommended. But my next one, and you'll see what I've done here by trying to split them up, so I'm not talking about just the same types of themes throughout, as like on back to back. Next one is Star Wars Battlefront VR mission.
Woo!
Hence, I've tried to insert stuff in between my VR and stuff to try and make it not back to back. But yeah, basically, I love the VR stuff. I'm really high on that headset that's coming for the PlayStation VR. As people know when they've watched our show, I think VR is fucking awesome. It's one of the things I've wanted a while, and seeing that with the Star Wars Battlefront VR one, and you're like inside the ships and you're looking around, it's like, oh my god, that's fucking awesome. Sure, I don't have a license to drive a car, but fuck off, I can drive an X-Wing.
You're better than driving the Mako.
But I'm just like, with that, I'm like, it's cool. I get to look around, I get to see all the stuff. I'm gonna be like, oh, that's good. It's gonna be so. With like the Batman one and that one and one of the other ones I'll be mentioning later. I love the immersiveness of the VR stuff. My only concern is I may lose track of time because I won't be able to just look up at the clock and say, oh, okay, that's the time. So maybe like a week. It may be like a week later, and I just take off my helmet. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with that session. Wait, it's what month? Oh fuck. What the hell did you do? I'm so gonna be fired. I was busy Batmaning. I was busy Star Wars.
My friend offered a suggestion and says set an alarm. I think he has an hour alarm, so every time it's an hour, he lets him know.
I was kidding. I don't think I'll play that for too long because they said prolonged exposure will make you sick.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if you play it like 6 hours or so on the run, you're probably going to be sick due to the stuff with your senses and all that. So, that's fine. Have a bucket near me. Back
No,
to
it'll
Batman.
throw up. Once you
there's
throw up, then they know you're not on the drugs anymore.
But there's some games that I literally do play like 6 hours at a time. So like I don't know if I really, really, really like it. So I just thought that'd be
Yeah, there's a
helpful.
lot of there's a lot of games everyone plays multiple hours on the run, but I always at least like breaking it up now and again with something else in the middle.
Oh no, I will be
So,
like, especially if that's like fucking Civ or something. That game I could play like 12 hours straight and like be like, what? I saw the sun go down, but it's back up again. What happened?
See, I used to be a while back. I used to be able to play games for just all day and stuff if I wanted to, or whatever. Like I've had a day off or something like that. I'm like, nowadays I'm like, I like a few hours, but I just like a break in between because otherwise I'll get bored with the game. But okay, I can't remember who went first last time, so
I think I did.
okay then, Pew.
Okay.
I trust Rick's judgment.
Next I had was Mass Effect Andromeda. That looked interesting. I like how they acknowledged, like, nope, this is a whole new thing. Remember, the whole universe died slowly of starvation, end or whatever. And I'm just messing with you. But we're done with that universe. Next, move on to the next one, Andromeda. And even that they had some similar species, though. They had like what looked like a mixed. I'm gonna say a mixed race Asari. Like I know Asaris can make other Asaris with any other breed, but that looks like it's like really half Asari, half other. Unless it looked really, really derpy, which I don't think it did. Because I really haven't seen any Asaris have that more like again I'm not stylized, but she had way bigger eyes and had more like kind of almost cartoony emotions or. So, but that looked really cool. So that was interesting. Like it's kind of like sort of like Asari, but like another species maybe, or I don't know. It looked really awesome though. How you're like from this other place now because you went to sleep.
See, my big complaint with that is it's called Mass Effect Andromeda, and yet there's absolutely no Commander Shepard, and there's no Kevin Sorbo. It's like, come on, if you're gonna do a crossover, at least do it right.
Ha! Haha.
No one watched Andromeda with Kevin Sorbo.
I watched Andromeda and Sorbo.
Did you watch the whole thing?
No.
It's like an episode or two. I'm like, oh, this isn't that good.
I like their ships. It's like, oh my god, they can like basically make like a sun implosion thing with it. Oh my god, that's so fucking cool. And the computer who was human, who was being hit on by the guy, I'm like, oh, that's really awesome. But that's neither here nor there. Release the Blu-ray box set. But yeah. But no, yeah, Mass Effect does look pretty cool. I'm looking forward to at least trying that game.
Yeah.
And over to Rick.
All right, my next one that they showed was Titanfall 2. I'm not like super good at the first one, of course, but I really did like it, and I really like that this one has a single player option. No, but this one has like single player and multiplayer, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'd love a story mode in there, and I did like the horde mode that they added in the first one. That was really cool. So hopefully they'll have something like that again. And it has that, true to form, it has one of those crazy collector's editions that looks awesome where it comes with a freaking light-up helmet that you can actually wear. Eat that, fucking Halo 3. But, and there's like little like lights or something you can hook on it. And I'm like, that's really cool. Not $250 cool, but it's really cool.
That does look pretty cool. And I'll admit I wasn't that good at the first one. My strategy consisted of making myself a nuke, walking up to the people and screaming, Allah! And then suicide bombing. Only unlike most suicide bombers, I had the sense to parachute out safely so I could do it again. Because I'm going to suicide bomb you. I'm not gonna suicide bomb you completely though.
Yeah.
But next time I commit suicide, remind me to start like quoting Mrs. Doubtfire and for fun's sake. Everyone will get that reference. uh, but next one, which I'm not sure if it was on anyone else's list, Batman, the Telltale series. We had screenshots where we've seen this cartoony look to it. We've had the cast announced, including like Troy and stuff. And like, look, the idea that what you do as Batman affects what Bruce Wayne's going to have to deal with. What you do as Bruce Wayne will affect the types of criminals Batman runs into. Although I still say Telltale have oversold that, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne will affect what villains you see as Batman,
Could be.
and vice versa. Then they announced a cast, and there's 2 villains announced. I'm like, no, that's not going to be massive choices, then, is it? It's not going to be like all my choices affect it as much as you say. But maybe it will. I'm not sure. Like maybe it'll be like the difference between Two-Face and Two-Face with a gun.
Well, it's not the first lie. It's not the first lie E3 told, because I saw the Last Guardian thing, and in the trailer there was another Guardian. You're not the last one. Get the fuck out.
To be fair, comics have done that for years. Superman, the last son of Krypton. Then we have Supergirl. Then we have a
Last
clone of
daughter.
Superman, so it technically counts.
clone.
The last dog of the last pony of Krypton.
Last second, cousin-in-law.
The last UPS delivery man of Krypton. But no, over to Rick for his next one.
All right. My next one, I thought this was kind of cool. Announced part of this was announced ahead of time, but they had the new Skylanders, the Imaginators, where you get to create a Skylander. That sounds really cool. I know that figure-wise, it's not going to be as interesting to my son, but I know that he would love to do that. I think it comes with a fire crystal, which is good, so I don't have to buy another one because he'll just get a fire one. he loves fire types, but
I just hope your son doesn't get to see, or have to see the ones that other people create. Because that'll be bad.
That's true. But
I do like. Oh, so you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say that when I told him the idea of it, he thought it sounded pretty cool, and then at the conference they also announced that they were gonna have Crash Bandicoot in there, which makes sense and was kind of cool. And it's like, I do kind of want to get that, even though I wasn't like a really big Crash Bandicoot fan. I like the guest characters so far, so I'm like, that's kind of cool. I'd want to do that. I still got to get Bowser, but put him next to that Crash Bandicoot.
And I like that too. And yeah, similar to what you said, like when they first announced it, I thought I'd be able to build the figures themselves. But even if I can't, that still looks fucking awesome. It's a great concept.
Yeah.
I may end up. I haven't decided. But it looks great, and it looks like it's going to be a blast. I'd be waiting to be out at the same time as the VR headset. And I'm not spending all that money on everything at once, because no. But it looks, like I said, it does look really fucking good. And I did send a message to what's his name, Richter, earlier, just to throw this out there because it ties into it. This autumn, Skylanders Academy is coming to Netflix as an series.
Yeah,
I
saw
know
that.
Richter's son will be all over that.
Yes, yeah, I told him, I was like, oh, they're making a Skylanders TV show, and he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be on Netflix. He's like, wow, how many episodes? I was like, I don't know, it's not up yet, but but yeah, he's definitely excited.
I saw that. I was sorry.
Oh, it's fine. That's all I was saying. Yeah.
Richter probably see that. I'm gonna watch it too. I'm just happy Spyro is actually one of the head of the class, as they said. I'm like, yay, he's not been completely forgotten. I like Spyro. But over to Pew.
Alright. I'm gonna have to mention this just because I went down to the city to play it. Legend of the Zelda Breath of the Wild. That that had me pretty pumped, especially since I actually got to play it, and it was super fun. And I loved how you could like steal the enemy's weapons. Like this guy had this big like crazy club, and I took it out of his hand and started beating the shit out of him with it. It was so fun. Oh my god. And I did like one of my favorite parts. Although this is just me being an asshole. I went. There was this temple, and it literally said like press X to like mourn or something. This was press A to pray. So I literally went at the temple, and then I pressed A to pray, and then the most realistic thing that could happen happened. Nothing. And I'm like, this is amazing. So realistic.
Yes.
Sold. And that guy who was had like he had to watch us to make sure like timing or whatever. He just started cracking up too. Oh my god! And of course I got lucky and had the machine that didn't have the auto time off. So I was literally the last one. I just looked around me and I was like, whoa, there's nobody else here. So I got to play it way longer than anybody else, and it was super fun. I mostly just ran around collecting things just because I love to. Even a demo, I couldn't not do it. I just compelled, like, oh, shiny thing. Oh, a different shiny thing. Collecting all the shinies. So I really looked forward to that. And supposedly this one's way bigger. It's 12 times bigger than Twilight Princess, which, again, was really small. It's not like saying, like, oh, it's the next biggest blah, blah, blah. But you know what? For Zelda, it's pretty big. So.
It should not to poke holes or anything, but it should be the biggest.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. It's like when they say that was a sequel. Oh my god, we're doing a new game on PS4 and Xbox One. It's going to be bigger than the one on PS3 and Xbox 60. And like, it should be, because now they both use the big discs. You have like 5 times the memory or 10 times the memory. What, were you just planning to piss that away? Use
Yes.
it!
Yeah.
Did you see the amiibo for Breath of the Wild? Pew?
No, I didn't, but I know that the Twilight Princess and other previous Zelda's amiibos will work with it.
Because they showed the new ones, and there's one of they call it the Guardian, and they showed it. He was in the trailer, but he just looks so damn huge. I'm like, that can't be normal priced amiibo. The base looks tiny. He has like tentacles, like his big tentacle arms, and I'm like, that's gonna be in a bigger box. He's gonna be like the big Yoshi Woolly. Like he's got to be like, there's no way he was just be a normal price.
I didn't even see that.
Part of me
No.
wants that big woolly Yoshi. Part of me wants him when I've seen the big woolly. Looks so cute. Part of me's like, no, I don't really play as Yoshi in anything.
I did like, though, that I got extra Zelda coin because I knew the best item in Wind Waker, which is the Deku Leaf.
Nice.
So I was the first one to answer that, so I got extra coin. Oh, and also, this is crazy. For the first time ever, Link has an actual, like, jump button. Like, he can independently jump, like, anywhere.
Instead
And it
of
was so
equipping a
funny. It's
feather.
just weird. Yeah, I know, but, like, he has this weird little girly frolic where, like, it's one leg in front of the other, and he's like, yay! Yay! And, like, that's how, like, his jump looks. Looks like a girly little frolic through like, a meadow. He can't, like, jump, like, with both legs up in the air. It has to be, like, one leg behind the other, arms apart, frolicking. Like, that's the only jump. But it was amazing.
Couldn't he jump on Skyward Sword?
I think he only could jump,
Or was that just
I think it was only off cliffs or specifically with an item. But I don't think he ever had an independent jump button. Like, that always was, like, jump.
Could he even jump in Hyrule Warriors? I don't remember.
All I know is that now he can jump, like, in the gayest way possible, and I don't mean that, like I'm sorry, or the just girliest way possible.
Yeah, fair enough. Then I think it'd be over to Rick, unless you went before Pew. You went before Pew with Skylanders.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My next one, my second to last one, would be Star Trek Bridge Crew, the VR game. oh, that looks so awesome. When then you put it on and they're looking around and you're seeing the ship. And I am aware they're paid actors before someone says that, but it just sold it more. Actors who'd appeared on the show put on the film, and this is what it'd be like if it was real. That sells it a lot more, if that makes sense. I'm like,
Yeah.
that makes me buy it, and when I'm seeing it, it's just so fucking cool. And seeing them geek on it, just, I want that game. It's so awesome.
Well, I like when they were talking.
That was Star Trek
Oh.
Bridge Crew.
That did look really awesome. I know.
Sorry.
That's fine. But I want to try that. But I'm as I was joking last night, I know that I would have to get in line because wife would be like, "No, I'm going to play this." But I liked when they're talking, during the trailer, whatever you call it, and LeVar Burton was just like, it was kind of weird because I sat down and I was sitting there and I fell back in all my old habits, like with the techno babble and all that stuff. And then at some point I had to stop and be like, oh wait, no, I have to give the orders. I'm the captain here. He's like, I just flew back into to my other role, so I was waiting for the captain to tell me what to do. And I was like, that's funny. I could actually picture him doing that. They all put it on and they're just sitting there like, you gonna give an order? And LeVar Burton's like, oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
I was
that's
going to
pretty
monitor
awesome.
the warp core.
I feel like they met. I always liked the fact. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the actresses there. You mentioned that it was really cool because he got into it so much and he was using all the correct terminology and stuff like that's cool. Like, 'cause some people that don't, I probably won't. But it's one of those things that if there's people who are that immersed into it, that's almost a wonderful thing. I feel.
Yeah.
So too anal with it, like, boo, you're saying it, dress me this way. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you right now.
Yeah, Jim. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Captain Richter. That's nice. I call you Captain Hammer, but all I can think of is the Dr. Horrible blog. But over to Pew. If she has any more.
Oh, that was my technically I had Batman VR as my last one, but you already took that.
Enough. Run it over to Rick.
All right. My last one that I had was a couple of the features that they said they were going to have in one of the Xbox updates, where they're giving back background music because they had that in the Xbox and the 360, and they're like, oh look, now it's on the one. I'm like, oh, should have launched there, but whatever, I'll take it. I didn't always use that, but it was a cool function to have. The looking for group, I assume it's an app. I don't know. That actually sounds like a really good idea, where you can like try to gather together with random people to like play some game online, which will be, I mean, I don't think you'll need it for like Call of Duty, but for some of the more obscure ones, I think that would be really, really helpful, rather than doing it the Destiny route of going on a message board and trying to coordinate that way. And then it was sort of in there, so I'm just going to...
I was going to say help with that, ironically, as well, because logically you'd be able to say what raid you want to find the people for it through the app. So they've done Bungie's job for them.
But also I'm just going to lump in there that for Minecraft that they were going to have cross-compatibility, so people on the Xbox could play with PC people, which is good because I think the people that my son, like his friends at school, have it on the computer, so he wants the PC version, and I'm like, I don't want to buy the PC version. Like, I mean, if you want to, okay, but now it's like, oh, I don't have to. Now he can, in theory, play with them, and like they can have servers and stuff, and I'm like, that's really cool. I'm actually excited to see that, just because that'll save me $28. I mean, what? I didn't say that.
Is that cross-compatible with the main Minecraft on PC? I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean because I know they also released Minecraft, whatever the hell it was called, on PC, and it was basically exactly like the console one. So it was a little bit more limiting. So I wasn't sure if it'd be both, because the PC one will have stuff that the other one wouldn't.
Maybe, I'm not sure, because I think if you have the PC one, I think you can. Are you talking about the Windows 10 edition?
It might be that one I saw.
Because I thought the PC one had that. I thought it was like part of the update, but I'm not sure. I noticed that was one of the games that wasn't I don't remember what they called it, but it wasn't cross-buy. It's like, oh, make that one cross-buy. It's already the second highest selling game of all time. I think you're okay if you make it cross-buy.
And I had one left, which wasn't going to make my list, but I decided to give it a try and actually watch all of it. And I was, for lack of terms, I was blown away. God of War.
Adoption
Not sure if
edition.
anyone watched that.
I watched
Adoption
it.
edition.
Not sure if anyone.
We adopt a kid.
I was like, yeah. First, I was didn't like, and I'm watching it. I'm how it looks. You actually get, it's really fucking awesome, and it looks more story driven too. And you got better. Oh, and like Kratos, I can see it going. I can see becoming the next one to replace Precious. But I liked it. It looked fucking phenomenal. That looked good. Well, that was done. Did anyone else have any other ones?
Nope, those were my
Or
best
anything?
from the list.
Oh, fair enough. Then I will say Dolphins. If anyone's choosing to this, I was thank you for joining.
Welcome.
And I'm kidding. I'm assuming there's a little bit of lag here, but yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you both,
Goodbye.
and peace. We will probably do this again next year,
Yay.
assuming E3 is good next year. Because
Or any year.
it seems to get short. It seems to get hard each year, but I'm like doing this. Like I still want to reunite at the end of it to the XG awards, do the game awards as well as
Yep.
Yeah.
say team. Good night.